Hi, I'm Alex Palt, and I'm here at the Dusseldorf Watch Show with the CEO of Hanhart, Felix Wallner. I didn't want to mess up that last name, Felix.
No worries.
Now, so how many years have you been coming to this show every year, I imagine?
Yeah, last year, unfortunately, I couldn't go because I've torn my cruciate ligament shortly before, but ever since that, I'm here at the show, and I'm just thinking back when it started. I think it was in 2015 for the first time, but back then the show was in Munich, and it was a little bit different to what it is now, but the concept was basically the same.
Well, it's all about the watches at the end of the day, right? So Felix, Hanhart has got a great reputation. TGV swears by you guys, but there has to be a reason behind it, obviously, and it's the story of Hanhart. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are?
Well, first of all, thank you. What really a little bit accelerated our brand recognition was our iconic 417ES model. And I remember back then that TGV, I think it was already in 2014, he had a video where he talked about his Grail watches, and one of them was the 417ES. And that was really where we thought, well, we need to reintroduce that model. And we worked a couple of years on it to get all the details right. We had so many feedback loops, but we didn't want to mess up that watch. And what we came out with, we're very proud of, and that's what I think is when you put a lot of effort into making good watches, people will recognize the work that went into it.
I think everybody is recognizing that. Now,
yeah, thank you. Yeah. No, I hope so.
Well, okay, now Felix, you got a couple of pieces here in front of us. I'm imagining that some of these are new at the show, some of them you wanted to talk about. Why don't you just go through these and explain them to us?
Yeah. So the first model I want to talk about is, as I said, the 417ES, the original one. We produced it, as I said, we wanted to make all the details right. And in the past there have been a couple of different 417ES models. So the watch was first introduced in the 50s, and in 1955 Germany was allowed to have a new army, and it was the first watch of the pilots of the newly formed army. And that is why it has as well a lot of history to it. And as I said, there were different case models, there were different dials, the dials had different writings on it, and we took what we thought is the best design, we transported it to new technology. We thought about, okay, are we going to do sapphire crystal, are we going to do
plastic or mineral glass,
mineral glass, whatever, and we decided to go with the sapphire because it's just the much better material. We have now a Sellita SW510 in it, a great hand-wound movement. So the watch is hand-wound. Why did we decide to have a hand-wound movement? First of all, you can make the watch slimmer, what in our opinion makes it look very nice on the wrist, because the height is not so big as with other chronographs. And the second thing is, in the past there was no automatic movement in that time, or at least at Hanhart it was all hand-wound watches, and that's why we decided to make the watch hand-wound.
Harkens back to the legacy.
Exactly. The second watch I have with me is the Panda model of the 417ES, and here it is. Well, what is the difference to the original 417ES? What we did at the Panda, the first thing you can see is we have a steel bracelet that is optional to both watches, but the really nice thing about the Panda and reverse Panda models is that we have the AMT movement inside, AMT 5100, which is the manufacture movements from Sellita. It's as well built by Sellita, but it's a column wheel chronograph, and it has a flyback function. And the really nice thing about that is that in the past, the 417ES has had as well a flyback function coming with it. So this is something that we think is really cool, and we think as well that the movement looks really nice with the column wheel.
I agree completely.
So,
And last but not least,
ooh,
that looks sharp.
I want to show you something really different. It's out of our Primus, or the basis is the Primus Collection. The idea of the Primus Collection is to take the details of the Pioneer Collection. The Pioneers are models that are close to our historic predecessor watches. And the Primus watches are the ones that take elements but do a completely new design out of it. So it's the more progressive, more modern watches. They as well have the fluted bezel. They as well have the bicompact dial composition, the small dials at 3 and 9, but they interpret, and as well a large crown, but it's a much more modern design. And you can as well see the red pusher. The red pusher we have on a lot of watches of ours. The legend that we tell about the red pusher, where we really think it's true, is that the pilot left his home and in the plane had a look at his watch and saw that his wife painted the pusher red with her nail polish, so that he always, when he looks at his watch, thinks of her.
What a romantic story.
Oh yeah, that is great. Well, I mean, the technical reason behind it was in the past they wanted to prevent pilots from how do you say, accidentally resetting of the stopwatch. So they wanted to tell the pilot, well, think twice before pushing that pusher. So that is the technical reason.
Which can be especially confusing in a flyback, because in a regular watch, you push the plunger, nothing happens, but in a flyback...
Exactly. That is a great thought, and that was one of the main reasons why they painted it red.
Very cool.
That is really good. So now here on the Primus Fly Navy, we had a cooperation with the German Army, and we did a cooperation with them. And this is a new limited edition, and you can see the central second hand.
I see the anchor and all.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very special watch, and on the case back, on the glass of the case back, we have as well printed the logo of the seals, and that is a special watch in a limited edition that came out just a couple of weeks ago.
Very cool, Felix. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about all of this. Is there anything else you wanted to mention before I let you go?
Well, I wanted to thank all the people for listening to us, all the people visiting us here in Dusseldorf. It's a really great show, and next year I'm pretty sure that we will be here again, so everyone out there who wants to come is very well invited.
Very cool, Felix. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.